Now, Mitch McConnell just made a new announcement on stimulus checks. After much pressure, the Biden administration is literally pushing for a fourth round of checks. Now, over a year, lawmakers and businesses have been complaining on how they can't find workers. During an event this week, Mitch McConnell offered his own theory as to why the labor shortage is still continuing. McConnell said you've got a lot of people sitting on the sidelines because of stimulus checks. What we got to hope is that they'll start concluding it's better to work than not to work. But everybody, economists have identified a multitude of reasons for the labor shortage. People moved away from locations with open positions. Parents haven't been able to return to work, and as they deal with the ongoing crisis, other roles might open up. Now, these reasons possibly suggest solutions other than McConnell's plan to weight our savings. Businesses could offer higher wages and more flexible workplaces, and even tweak job descriptions and requirements to attract a larger amount of people and potential employees. According to CNN, Americans built up a huge amount of savings during the crisis, thanks to several rescue packages. Analysts have estimated that the households built up an extra cash cushion totaling $2.6 trillion from the beginning of the crisis through the end of 2021. In the meantime, the labor market has seen a robust recovery, with jobs set to fully recover by this summer. The employment population ratio for Americans ages 25 to 54 has crept above July 2019 levels. According to the data from the St. Louis Reserve, unemployment sits at a historic low of 3.6%. And while the past year, Americans have been quitting at near record highs, hiring and job openings remain strong, and that indicates that many people are quitting for higher paying jobs instead of the low paying ones. In Mitch McConnell's home state of Kentucky, it was briefly the epicenter of the Great Resignation. The sheer number of workers quitting and leaving the workforce was powered by structural conditions that existed before the crisis. And now this week, in a county, legislators voted unanimously to approve a one-time $200 stimulus payment for senior citizens who qualified for the enhanced school tax relief property tax exemption. Now, according to county officials, homeowners can expect to receive the checks at the end of the year. The Senior Household Stimulus Program was also proposed by the county's executive, Ryan McMahon. The goal of the program is to help senior citizens recover financially from the crisis and ease the burden of the economic downturn. The program, financed through the county's fund balance, is estimated to cost around $5.5 million. County lawmakers believe around $27,000 county homeowners qualify for enhanced school tax relief and will receive around $200. County legislator Peggy Chase also says the checks will help seniors on fixed income, especially as home assessments and taxes continue to rise. But Democratic legislators William Kinney said he supports the stimulus program for seniors, but is encouraging county officials to meet the needs of other groups, specifically those who have lower income.
Oil companies and food companies are making record-breaking profits. The American people are sick and tired of struggling to pay for the basic necessities of life, while at the same time, 700 billionaires in this country became $2 trillion richer during the pandemic. And income and wealth inequality today is worse than it has been for 100 years. People on top doing phenomenally well, middle class working families falling further and further behind. The American people are sick and tired of seeing multi-billionaires like Mr. Musk and Mr. Bezos and Mr. Branson taking joyrides to outer space in their spaceships, buying $500 million super yachts and living in mansions all over the world, while some 600,000 people in our country are homeless. In other words, we're looking at two worlds. People on top never did better. Middle class continuing to decline, and the poor living in abysmal conditions. And in the midst of all of this, the American people want Congress, want their elected officials to address corporate greed, to address income and wealth inequality, and end a tax system in which some of the wealthiest people in this country in a given year do not pay a nickel in federal taxes, where large profitable corporations do not pay a nickel in federal taxes. And they want a tax system which is fair, where the wealthy and large corporations pay their share. Madam President, the last poll that I saw had Congress, United States Congress, with a 16% approval rating, 16%. And to me, this was shocking, really quite shocking, because I suspect that the 16% who believe that Congress was doing something meaningful really don't know what's going on. So what is Congress doing right now at a time in which we face so many massive problems, not to mention climate change, not to mention a massive housing crisis, where 18 million families are paying half of their income in housing?
To an official fact sheet, Senator Sanders and the Social Security Expansion Act would lift this cap and subject all income above $250,000 to the Social Security payroll tax. Raising the income threshold is not a new concept, and it's one that Manchin, a key centrist, has already expressed support for. Early this year, the Democrat from West Virginia said the payroll tax cap should be taken up to $400,000 to put Social Security on a more sustainable fiscal path. While Sanders' plan is one solution to patching the popular program, Republicans indicated that it wouldn't draw their votes. They tend to resist tax increases to fund more generous safety net benefits, favoring other fixes. Lindsey Graham of South Carolina and the ranking member of the Senate Budget Committee suggested in a congressional hearing that the program's retirement age would probably need to be raised. This is a step that Senator Romney expressed support for early this year. Romney previously proposed the Trust Act, a bipartisan bill directed at helping and fixing Social Security and other ailing programs. Critics said that legislation will end up cutting some benefits. Romney, a Republican from Utah, said during a budget committee that Senator Sanders makes a wonderful plea, which many people agree with. That is the need for helping our seniors and providing better benefits for them and so forth. Bernie Sanders told reporters this week that enthusiasm within the Democratic Party is extremely low and warned of low turnout from the party's base in this year's midterm. Sanders argued that it is unlikely the Democrats will clinch victories in the midterms. He stated the Republicans stand an excellent chance of gaining control of the House and quite possibly the Senate. The Democrats face significant headwinds to maintain their thin majorities in Congress in the midterm elections, a problem that has only been exacerbated by voters, concerns over high inflation. Inflation rates have soared to near 40-year highs in the wake of the crisis, and many people are feeling this financial squeeze at the gas pump and the grocery store. Sanders reiterated his long-term, publicized concern over the party's handling over two centrists of Sinema and Manchin, who have opposed large components of Biden's agenda. Folks, do you believe that President Biden is doing all that it takes to send the Ford stimulus check, or do you believe that he needs to do a better job on this?